Welcome to the Game Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me online as Erickson. I am joined, as always, by a friend and co-host. Just this one's different. Hi, Mike.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I see what you're doing. Yeah.
Today,
As always, but never.
as always, a friend and
Oh,
co-host.
one time.
guess
Yes,
that
that
yes.
is true.
Yes.
Always a friend and co-host. Wait,
But
hang on.
wait, what?
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah,
How
it
you
was one
doing?
time. This is not your first time here in the Game Corner studio.
Yeah, like first time was what? Episode 2, 3, 4?
One of those small numbers.
Yeah, one of those small numbers. And what episode are we on now?
47.
47?
Which-
It's been almost a year. Is this every week?
It's every week, and it's been a year.
It
We missed 6.
okay.
So actually, let's see.
How far past a year are we? Yeah.
Like half a week. So,
So
last.
am I a part of your anniversary episode?
So you know what? I guess that might actually be true. We did
Amazing.
a little like 4 minute. Actually, I think it was 4 minute on the dot. Little anniversary bonus content almost, right? A little bonus episode saying, "Hey, it's been a year." But yeah, since realizing it's been a year, this is the first episode. So welcome to the Game Corner's anniversary. We have Mike.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How do you feel things have changed in the past year for you guys specifically for the Game Corner?
So a lot's changed in life.
Sure.
No, for the Game Corner, the biggest thing that has changed in the past year, I blame you guys for part of this. Actually, we're using Riverside, which is actually amazing. Let's see, like episode again 5, 6, 4, one of those numbers. I want to look it up while I'm trying to talk.
Now that you've said it like that, I do want to be invited back for episode 564.
Okay, you got it. You will be here for 564
Put it in the calendar.
if we make it that long. You guys are
Well.
on what episode was this? 160 something?
169. Nice. Yep.
Nice. Yeah, so 564 is a ways off. Focus Sports was episode 6.
Gotta be. I was gonna say 4. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So you guys, so we actually used your studio for that episode.
Right. Yes.
You introduced us to Riverside, and then we were like, we don't want to pay for that, so we didn't for I don't know, a month or 3 later, and then I'm like, this sucks because we were doing like OBS. We each record our perspective. Have you ever used OBS's virtual camera feature?
Yes.
Okay, that sort of works okay through Discord as like a way to see each other and record our own like individual cameras, and then they send me they would send me the clips, and then I would sync them up, edit them, and it was just a pain.
Walk me through why OBS needs to send the virtual camera through Discord.
Because when we were doing it that way, we wanted to see each other, like see face to face.
But
you
Discord
can't-
just has cameras. Like you can use your computer camera, no?
Correct. But what I was trying to do was get like the full resolution on OBS.
The whole show.
Yeah, and then use that as like the basis for the episodes.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you don't ever want to go back to that. Riverside is worth the like $20 a month or whatever it is.
There are now other services, I'm sure, that do it cheaper and do it differently, but I am so resistant to change for those kind of things that I'm like, nope, this one works, just done. I went through enough guff trying to make sure that Riverside did everything I wanted it to do that I'm not touching anything else. Done.
Now I almost want to look and see what else is out there. My only gripe with Riverside is unless I'm dumb, which that could be the case. Don't get me wrong. And I actually should not have these settings up while we're recording. It probably doesn't let me change it. But I can't. I used to try like 60 FPS or 30 FPS, but Riverside only gives me 24 FPS.
Yeah.
Or right now I see you in about 3 FPS. I don't know why.
That might be because I'm currently exiting Diablo 4 so that I can be fully invested in this conversation.
Oh, that's right.
There you
That
go.
can be part of the conversation today. So full disclosure, I was going to talk about Milwaukee stats, Santiago stats, Turbine stats, any stats. We have no stats. There's nothing.
We had the same problem happen to us. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you guys recorded like 2 days ago, I think.
Actually, yeah. It felt like it was yesterday because I stayed up very late to go and edit it, but yeah, I guess it was 2 days ago.
We have Mike here. I guess this is a thing that we should say. Rowan and Sheldon had life happen, as it tends to do, and I didn't want to stay up super late to record, so I was like, "Hey, friends, anyone want to be on a podcast?"
So is this like the de facto episode for the week?
Yeah, this is gonna be it.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, you're here.
Like it is as Harrison's explaining it. Like it is. I have no like preemptive conversation. I had no preemptive conversation before coming in here.
Yeah, no, Mike,
like,
Mike walked in here and I hit record
something.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, you're on this episode. This week's episode is Harrison and Mike.
I'm happy to. This is
fantastic. We have no stats.
No.
And I'll be honest. You got part of the story of Milwaukee sucking on y'all's episode. It sucked, man. Milwaukee was not good.
I want to know all about it from your perspective as well.
So
why did Milwaukee suck for you?
Okay. So Hartford, 2 weeks prior, it's only 2 weeks. 2 weeks prior, we were all in Hartford playing Pokemon. And as you know, you were there with us.
Sure was.
The whole group of us. I went into Hartford with zero preparation. Right? Because I picked a team Friday night and then changed it later Friday night, put it into Arcanine and went. I did not expect to do well at Hartford. I went 4-5 in Hartford, I think.
Okay.
Was my record. So yeah, just negative. And I was like, you know what? That's fine.
But as I recall, that seemed to be better than you thought you would do.
Absolutely. Because I went in with zero prep. So in the 2 weeks between Hartford and Milwaukee, I actually put in some time to prep. I practice on Showdown more than I am used to. I used tools, pars. How do you say this? Bauer Dad made a really cool Google sheet that helps you track things. It somehow through Google Sheets, it actually will read the logs on Showdown. So if you haven't used that, it's super cool. I want to try.
I've never heard of that before.
I will send you a link. Oh my gosh, where's my Pokemon folder? Pokemon, competitive Pokemon, PASRS.
Passers.
It's I don't know. It's very hard, but it's super cool. So I use that to see how things are going, see what stats I'm using. If you search Bauer Dad on Twitter or even Dad on Twitter, you'll probably find it.
Well, I will say I just tried to Google it because I thought PASRS, that's not a word. It's free SEO. You type it in, you'll probably get it. You don't. PASRS is NPRA of Central Arizona, the National Placement and Referral Alliance. So there you go.
NPRA of Central Arizona.
There's a lot of stuff for Phoenix. There's a lot of stuff for Pennsylvania, I'm seeing.
Wow.
Oh, hey. I don't get a Google sheet at all, but I'm sure if I search it up.
So actually, if you the 10th thing down is a Twitter link to Bauer Dad VGC's Twitter, and that's it.
It's time to release Passers version 2. Yeah, yes. There it is. Okay. Yeah.
So there's a link in there. It's super cool. I don't know how he does it. I've actually been wanting to dig into it and see whatever scripting is behind that.
Oh, this is nuts.
Anywho, I used that. I did prep. I was between two different teams. Put in the time. Some time. I could have put in a lot more. Let's be honest.
You put in time. Time was put in
more than I usually do.
Sure.
I dropped X and 5. I think at the time 2 and 5 And I was like, no, I can't. This is not my day. I was playing so bad. I was like head not in the game. Whatever. Like, I didn't really think. This is what, my 5th regional this year. And we always talk about like, oh, people drop at such weird times. Like people will drop like X and 2 or X and 3. It's like, oh, they're not in it. They're having a bad day. I didn't know what that was until Milwaukee.
Right.
So, it's really funny. So Bruno and Kevin was the only people of our group who were there.
Yeah, right.
And Bruno, he went X and 4 and dropped because he was out of the running for CP or whatever. He went to go see Spider-Man with a friend of his. And they're like, Harrison, do you want to come? You're not doing great. And I was like, you're right. I'm not doing great. No, I'm going to try and go positive. That was when I was still X and 4. And I was like, I can still win out and go positive. And then I didn't. So I was like, I should have left. I should have gone.
So you missed Spider-Man and you missed
yes,
the wins.
correct.
Okay, got it.
So
I whiffed the movie.
Oh man, it was such a time. And then I went, so I dropped that round. I was round 7. And I was like, whatever, I'll hang out. I'll see Kevin between rounds. I'll charge his phone because his phone didn't charge the night before. So I had my battery and I just...
That Milwaukee electricity.
It didn't work, apparently, for him. So whatever, it's no big deal. I'm just going to be salty. I want to open Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't play it, but I opened the game and had it on the title screen. And I was like...
Just staring at it.
I was like,
oh no.
Oh, whatever. I made the most of the time.
Sure. By staring at Tears of the Kingdom.
Well,
it sounds like everything that you said before I made the most of the time was you not making the most of the time.
That's very true.
Okay.
Anywho, I was waiting for Kevin to do his 6 and 3 like he was definitely supposed to do.
Yeah.
As Kevin is wont to do. And then Bruno and them went to the movie, so I was like, oh, I'll figure out dinner and plans, whatever. Try and think through all that stuff, and then just have Tears of the Kingdom open next to me.
Sure.
So anyway, then Kevin went 5 and 4.
Right.
Darn,
which is very close to what you would have gone had you finished all of your matches. You would have ended up 4 and 5.
No, well, hopefully okay. We'll see.
Okay.
So then, like Kevin told you, we made the very smart decision to go play more Pokemon the day out, the Sunday Premier Challenge, which was super fun. It was best of 1 Swiss, which is not what we expected. We kind of hesitated, do we do best of 1 Swiss? And then they're like, hey, sign-up's open at 7 on RK9, so you should go sign up. And there's only 128 slots. So we're like, we gotta go right away. And then it didn't fill up at all. It went 77, I think, 75, some in that range.
Okay, but 77 still isn't so bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
But I was like, 128 is a small number compared to 580, whatever was actually at the real event.
Except, apart from the people who made top 64, top 32, you've got 500 or 470 sad people.
Yes.
Who could join in on that. 470
sad people who are addicted to VGC.
Right. So maybe they'll join. Yeah, okay. I see it.
They didn't.
No.
So anyway, we went to play that. And I took a brand new team.
Okay.
On Bruno's recommendation, I took this really cool looking paste. It was a physical Wo-Chien. It was super it looked super fun. Played some on ladder. Got the team all situated on cart the night before. Tested with it on ladder. It was fun. I was like, I feel kind of confident with this. Let's see how it goes. Mike, don't ever switch teams the weekend of a tournament.
Yeah.
It might seem like a good idea. I've learned my lesson. It's a bad idea.
Well, then you just put yourself back at square one, where you go into the thing and you're like, hey, okay, I have not practiced with this team at all. I'm just going to go for it. Then you practice with your next time and you're like, okay, this time I'm practiced. I can do it. I can make the plays. And then you don't, you lose. And it's like, okay, well, back to square one then. Now you're all the way back. It doesn't help.
To be fair, that does seem like a lot of how just VGC goes sometimes.
That's how VGC on Showdown goes.
That's
and
true.
That I think is what's kind of created the culture of like, I play with this team, I get wrecked by this team, and now I want to play that team.
Oh,
and
sure. Yeah.
That cycle just keeps on feeding itself.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So anyway, in the 7-round best of 1 Swiss for the PC, I went X and 5 again, and I was like, you know what? No. This is just an X and 5 weekend. Mm-hmm. Although I guess best of 1 Swiss and only 7 rounds. I don't know if that's better or worse, X5, but it's X5 nonetheless.
X and 5 is X and 5. Still, you know what? Did you have fun? Tell me you had fun.
At the time, I didn't feel like I had fun.
At the time, you didn't have fun.
Looking back, I definitely had fun. The thing is, with all these events, and I think we've definitely talked about it in person.
Yeah.
There's so much fun around playing Pokemon that these trips and these events are still totally worth it, despite tournaments not necessarily going your way.
At the very least, it gives you the excuse to have a personal, or in your case, sometimes a family vacation. You get to spend a little bit of time out of town.
Yep, that's very true.
I don't really do that outside of Pokemon at all, right? I'm not the kind of person to be like, hey, you know what? Let's go to Connecticut for a weekend and just kind of be in Connecticut. I'm going to go to Ohio for 4 days and then come back home. Like, no, I never do that. It gets me out there. It gets me seeing a new place, seeing new sights, eating food I don't usually eat.
Cheese curds. So many cheese curds in Wisconsin.
Many cheese curds. Yeah. I'm going to be in Montreal in 2 weeks, and that's going to be Cheese Curd City.
So much poutine.
Oh, yeah. Poutine.
No, but that's a very good point. Like a little personal vacation. I mean, when my wife came to the first 3 and even played in 1, and like the whole excuse was it's a fun trip, right? Mm-hmm. Works out. And then, of course, the added benefit of, we have a small group of people that we like to go meet and talk to. We get to see in person, get to hang out. Like, again, it was super cool after literally 3 years in some cases, or a little less, depending on the person, but like to meet all of us in person is wild to me.
I can imagine that must be a much different experience for the people who consistently make top 8. For the people who go out there and are like, all right, now I have to go over to Ohio and I have to compete because I have to get top 8. And if I don't, then I'm not going to Japan and I don't get that free trip. It's like that's a different level of pressure. And I don't know if I would be interested to know if they could enjoy the trip because of that stress.
I mean, some of the people who are doing really well make it almost a career, it seems like. Right? Like either making content out of it, like, like Wolf does or whatever. He can sit there on Twitter or YouTube or whatever and say, hey, I have made top 16 in every regional I've been to this year. And that literally makes him money without actually earning money at the events.
Yeah, it earns reputation. It earns renown.
Clout, views, right?
It all kind of trickles down to views, yes.
Yes. So that's a cool thing that some of them, like you said, the higher performing people are making something out of these events that someone like us might not necessarily get the same experience.
Right. But I mean, also not going and claiming to be in the space, it almost is like you're a fake fan. Where like I can't be on YouTube and be like, hey, I'm the competitive Pokemon guy, and then not go to the competitive Pokemon events.
That's a fair point.
So like there's that. Now I don't want to make that sound like, anybody who is a Pokemon content creator needs to go to these events. Like, no, you don't. In fact, next year, I'm probably not going to go to many of the events. I want to go to Ohio because I always want to go to Ohio for NAIC. But apart from that,
so excited for the end of the month.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
It's going to be a fun time.
Mm-hmm. Now, whether that's in Ohio next year or not in Ohio, like I don't
but
really
NAIC,
care. But
you want to hit NAIC consistently.
Yeah. It's just such a good time.
Looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
So what's really funny, back to Milwaukee being a terrible experience. Kevin actually pointed out to me why Harrison's experience in Milwaukee was so bad.
Why?
I had no caffeine.
You had no caffeine.
Or basically no caffeine.
Okay.
So Kevin and I stayed in an Airbnb about a 20 minute walk away, or like a 4-minute car ride, right?
Sure.
Bruno stayed in a hotel right next to the convention center. Bruno's hotel had a Starbucks. And we were like, we should go to Bruno's hotel, get coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Or as Kevin would say, coffee.
Coffee, yeah.
And then go to the convention center. It was a very quick walk. So, of course, on Saturday, we tried to do that. We get to the Starbucks maybe 15 minutes before the, like, player meeting happens.
Oh, okay.
And we're texting Bruno like, oh, we just left. We'll be there at, this time. And he was like, no, don't go. It's too busy. And we're like, at the time we actually saw his message, we were walking up to the Starbucks. We're like, oh, it's not that bad. There's much people sitting around waiting, but the line was non-existent. So we're like, oh, let's go see what it's like. We figure they're all waiting for food or something, right? Things that take time. Yeah, all those things were lattes, apparently. So we're like, hey, what? I was like, hey, can I have a mocha or whatever? And they're like, yeah, it'll be 15 to 20 minutes. And we're like, oh no, we can't do that. Anything but black coffee is basically going to be, very long.
Are you not a black coffee drinker?
So, I can do some black coffee. I can do cold brew, just with cream and sugar. I don't normally do black coffee. I am a latte guy. I literally make espresso every morning. Black coffee
with cream and sugar is no longer black coffee.
Okay, fair enough. You know what I mean? Like basic coffee.
But yes, I get it. Yeah,
not espresso. Sure. You are correct. Light brown coffee. Yeah. So I was like, oh gosh, let me think here. Cause I'm like, I don't know what I do. I never go to Starbucks either. I'm not a Starbucks person at all. So Kevin walks up and is like, oh, I'll have a nitro cold brew and no cream or sugar. And then he's out the door and I'm like, oh, okay. Does this thing take time? And it was like a cold brew, like chocolate foam cold brew. And I was like, surely it's just cold brew and they pour chocolate foam on there and it's done. Right. No, the chocolate foam apparently takes 15 to 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. Okay.
Because now you're in the queue.
Yeah. I'm like, fine. Okay. I'll just do what he did with cream and sugar. And then I didn't realize at the time he said nitro cold brew, which is actually disgusting to me.
What is nitro cold brew? I heard you say it the first time, and I was like, I don't think I've heard of that.
I don't know.
Oh, tell me what your interpretation of nitro cold brew was.
Not like capsaicin spicy, but like a spicy coffee, which probably means carbonated. Actually, let me see. What is nitro cold brew? What does it actually say?
Infused with nitrogen to create a sweet flavor without sugar.
It was not sweet. And that infusion of nitrogen had to give it some bad texture in my experience. All you who like nitro cold brew, more power to you.
You were tasting nitrogen gas is what you were tasting.
That would be it. That would be the carbonation texture. Spicy. Yeah.
That's
so that was
interesting.
That was bad. So I sipped it and I was like, oh, this is not what I expected. Mm-hmm. And Kevin's like, chugging this thing or whatever. I'm like, fine, okay, cool. You win.
Yeah. But Kevin, like that's his life. Like every day, dude's over at Dunkin' getting a nice black iced coffee.
Nope.
And he will just down that thing.
That is concerning.
Yeah.
But I also only recently, within the last 4 years, liked coffee.
Hey, me too.
Hey!
Yeah, it was kind of out of necessity. I thought it was out of necessity. And then eventually I'm like, yeah, okay, this just isn't so bad. So now every time I'm tired, I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll have a little bit of coffee. I don't think I need it. I just do.
I know for a fact that I am addicted to caffeine.
Okay.
But it's caffeine.
Better than me not knowing.
Not just coffee.
Yeah.
So normally I'll have a soda.
Is that what that is?
Oh, yeah, or something. Because I just grew up drinking a metric ton of soda. That's just been my life. So I know I like caffeine. So, that being said, I know I'm addicted to caffeine.
Sure.
Normally a morning espresso is great, and then throughout the day I can just sip soda, and then I'm a happy Harrison. It's a great time. But in the middle of a competition in a city that you're not familiar with, and you just happen to accidentally order nitro cold brew, which is disgusting to you and your palate, that makes for a bad start to your competition.
I can imagine. Yeah.
And then, of course, because Kevin and I are stupid and we had no one to wrangle us, we did it again Sunday.
Did you order a nitro cold brew again on Sunday?
No, on Sunday we actually how did it go happen? We had to be there at 9.
You must have gone way earlier.
Oh man, you would think. We tried to leave earlier, and as soon as I was like, "Hey, we should let's go. Let's get an Uber or whatever." Kevin's like, "Sure." After this ladder game, because he had just started ladder. Okay, sure, whatever.
Okay.
That's what 5 minutes ish. Then we order an Uber or Lyft, whatever, and that takes 10 minutes, and we're maybe 15. I don't know. It took longer than expected. We have been pretty consistent at getting an Uber in under 5 minutes.
Okay.
For the rest of the weekend prior. So we're like, oh, this will be fine. It wasn't fine, and we're like, we just have to basically go straight to the convention center at this point, because we got to the hotel at like 8:50.
I see.
We walked in to the PC at 9 o'clock. Like, we sat down and just immediately played. So no chance to get coffee.
Both days, no coffee.
Yeah,
Well,
and I
first
didn't
day,
realize
some coffee, not
good coffee. So yeah, after the fact, Kevin's like, "Oh, you didn't have caffeine. Are you addicted? You probably have a headache." And I was like, "You're right, I do."
Wait a minute, I do have a headache.
Dang.
And then it's that Akira meme.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
It was so eye opening.
Wow.
Thank you, Kevin. Shout out to Kevin for
Opening your eyes.
opening my eyes to the problem that I knew I had.
Sure.
But now I know.
Well, sometimes you just don't need to be reminded of it, right? Now you're like, oh wait, I'm aware of this.
I'm
oh,
aware.
now I'm so aware of it. The headache.
Well, so I'm annoyed because I had like headache medicine, like Excedrin or whatever that has caffeine in it in my backpack on Saturday, and I could have just chugged a few pills, which sounds really bad saying it out loud, but you know what I mean.
Sure.
And I might have played a little better, but I didn't.
I do
Had a
applaud
clearer
you.
head.
I do applaud you for not using performance enhancing drugs for this Pokemon tournament. For lack of a better term.
Hey, if you have like an Adderall dealer, let me know.
I am sure that there is a not insignificant chance that there are some people at those tournaments who would.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Joking aside, I don't think Excedrin is particularly bad. It's acetaminophen and caffeine, right? Like, oh boy, what a fun trip. I wonder though, I
really do.
How much of the top 16 consistent players?
Because it was a problem in esports for a little while, like in professional, like top tier esports, that like for Pokemon, which just kind of lets you through the door as long as you flash your wrist that has a thingy on it. They don't check.
No.
Nobody checks.
They don't have like a bag check or anything too, right? Like
they used to.
Really?
They used to. They stopped.
Like did they do it this year? Okay,
yeah,
last
year they were doing it.
I don't remember, like, even Orlando was the earliest one that we went to. I don't remember them doing bag checks. Okay.
That was the first place where we were like, oh, we got in real easy.
Right. And in that 800 and some odd person convention center.
In Florida.
Yeah. Hey, my home turf is scary, dog. Like.
You know?
Oh.
But that's Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's Pokemon. It has a little bit of growing up to do.
It needs to. I heard some interesting. I don't know. Like I can't vouch for a lot of the validity of this, but someone that I know I spoke to at the regional, and they said they know people at Arcanine, who like developers of Arcanine, was like, oh, that's interesting.
My
Please
dad
tell me
works
they
for
don't
Arcanine.
suck.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, right. So please tell me that they actually care, because everyone who's used Arcanine knows that Arcanine sucks. Apparently, TPCI will only pay for basically what is there, right?
I figured that was the case.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's not that Arcanine doesn't care.
Right.
It's that Arcanine isn't paid enough to
do
handle
more.
this. Yes.
Right. And like there are some very simple updates, right, that could be made to the website. So the team builder or whatever to make it perform better.
Pictures for all the Scarlet and Violet Pokemon.
For one, TPCI can give them that, and it should be kind of easy. But they didn't give them money to do it, apparently. Right. So, should that be true? And it probably is, because that sounds right. Big corporation, small corporation, event. Here's as little money as we can give you to get a product that kind of functions for our stuff.
Yeah.
What can you say?
Well, it's like that for most of the Pokemon products. It's the biggest IP in the world because their animators are really good at what they do, and their games are really catchy. But some of the side games that they put out are just not, or side tools even that they put out are just not quite up there, right? You've got Arcanine that isn't TPCI exactly, but like is
it's TPCI adjacent
and funded by them. The trading card games, the online trading card games.
Which iteration of that are they on now?
They're, what's it? Pokemon TCG Live, I think is the game.
Is that second or third?
I know for a fact that it's more than the second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's getting up there.
But yeah, that's almost sad.
A little bit.
But we're addicted to this game. We like it so much.
Oh, but that battle system is just so good. I like it a lot. I like seeing the little animations fire up against each other and the HP goes down. I want to see who goes all the way down first.
Pixels flash and green goes away.
That's why I play the game.
Speaking of playing games and pixels flashing.
Yeah.
Tell me about Diablo.
Oh, it's okay. No, you know what? I was about to say, oh, it's a great game, but I am not sure how I feel about it yet. I've spent a lot of time playing it. I got in the early access. I paid the extra money to get in a couple days before release, and spent pretty much all weekend playing it. That's
why you weren't in Milwaukee. Oh, I got it.
No, that was my cope to make myself feel better for not being able to go to Milwaukee.
That makes sense too. I can appreciate that.
I feel like I like it, but I'm still not sure, even after I've spent a full weekend just no-lifing this game.
How many hours do you have in the game?
I wish there was a metric for that, but I don't know if there is.
If you guesstimate, if you were to guess.
If I were to guess, let's say anywhere between 30 and 50. Yeah, I put
that sounds like a
between
weekend.
30 and 50 in that. Yeah. I like the barbarian that I'm playing. I always play a barbarian in every single one of the Diablo games because that's just what feels right when I'm playing it to me.
Sure.
I tried playing around with other classes at the beginning of the game, and I was like, it just doesn't feel right. So I very quickly went to Barbarian, stuck with it. I'm not a huge fan of the open world. I think that open world is best done in games that do it really well and really chock it full of stuff. And Diablo, while it's chock full of stuff, it's like... it's a lot of like go here and then go here and then go here, and it's like trying to just give you this big tour of this map by having you like touch all these different points, whereas something like Tears of the Kingdom is like you just walk around and you do stuff and you do anything in any order, and there's really no direction that they're trying to give you apart from maybe the one thing in the story quest that you really have to do. Apart from that, just like go around and enjoy it. Yeah. They give you a thing to do at the very beginning, and that's beat this thing.
Yeah.
And they don't even tell you to beat the thing. You just kind of have that intuited, and you're like, okay, I should probably stop that thing, right?
That's a fair point. The main story quest you get is not beat Ganon. It is
No.
it is go to the four corners of the world and see what's going on.
The main story is you were traveling with Zelda, and then big nasty guy was there. Something happened to Zelda. You gotta find Zelda. Oops. That's the game.
Yep.
Go.
But now that's an interesting point, right? So in Tears of the Kingdom, there is a hidden leveling system and experience system that it's not exposed to the player at all. You can feel it because you get better drops and harder enemies spawn randomly. But there's no real leveling system, unlike in Diablo, where it's all about the level, the gear score, the tiny adjustments you can make on the skill tree and the Paragon boards and like all this like min-maxing and crafting your build the way you want it to be. So in a game like, hey, we have experience, you don't see it, and there really is hardly that system works for Tears of the Kingdom. But how would that work in Diablo? I'm not very far in Diablo. I am on like the second dungeon that you kind of get into the story.
Okay.
It's like super early on, like literally the second waypoint on the map, right?
I will say I do really, really like the leveling system in Diablo 4. It's new to Diablo, to the series, but what they do is they scale everything to your level. So when you're level 6, you're fighting things that are level 6. Everything around you is level 6. When you're level 20, you're fighting things that are level 20. Likewise,
is that everywhere?
That is everywhere in the main map until you beat the campaign.
Oh. Okay.
If I were to party with you in previous Diablo games, that would most likely be like, hey, I'm going to power level you. I'm going to run you through all of the campaign super fast, lightning speed, get you to the end of it. And then you can just level yourself up quickly because, you know, that's just the nature of the campaign. At the end, you get more experience.
Right.
Not so in this one. In this one, when I join you in our party, you're fighting things that are level 9. But to me, even though I'm fighting the exact same enemy, that enemy is considered level 56 because I'm level 56. And so I'm doing the same like percentage damage to it that you're doing the same percentage damage to it based on our gear. It's nuts.
That math hurts.
I don't know how they figured that out, but they did, and it works so well. The fact that I can party with anybody and like not really feel like I'm carrying, that's really nice.
So you would, okay. So games like Guild Wars 2,
sure,
right? That MMO, they have level scaling, but it's based on region. So like you have a level 1 to 5 region, 6 to 10, so on and so forth. And then if I have my level 75 character and I want to go play with a friend of mine, if you just started, right, and you have a level 4 character, I'm going to come down to the level 1 to 5 area and like quest with you.
But now, you're going to be like the biggest fish in this pond, right?
No. They actually scale you down to the highest level of the area. So I would be literally pared down to level 5, and then all my stats and equipment adjusted accordingly.
Interesting.
But that's like 5, and then when we move on to the 6 to 10 area, then I'm level 10. At least I'm pretty sure that's how that works. When I looked at it,
that's how it
6
feels
years
anyway.
ago.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but you're saying in Diablo, it's adjusted. What is like in your perspective? You're level 56. You're fighting level 56 characters or monsters, whatever. Whereas I'm level 8, so I'm fighting level 8s, and then just the percent damage works out where like I see you hit something and it makes sense.
Exactly.
And then, that hurts.
It hurts. It hurts a lot.
How does that work?
I have no idea. And then when you join into somebody else's game, all of your quests are scaled to whatever quest you haven't done that they haven't done. So you're following basically their quest lines.
Okay.
You can see all of their objectives. You go to wherever they need to go. A lot of the story quests, like, you guys have to be together for, but some of them you just don't. So I can go over to one area and finish part of your story quest. You can go to the next part and finish another part of your story quest. So that speeds it up pretty nicely. But for the most part, like, it feels just like such a nice team experience. And I think it is detracted a bit from the open world that is rather scarce.
It detracts from the open world.
Yeah. Because again, to bring it back to Tears of the Kingdom, is as you're walking around, you're not fighting like mob after mob after mob, but as you're walking around, it's like this beautiful open area that, like, you're exploring the graphics basically of this game. And just looking around at the beauty all over the place, versus Diablo 4, where if you're ever walking through a no man's land, it looks like a no man's land because you're walking through a desert, or you're walking through fire, or you're walking through a deep, scary forest. Like, it doesn't feel good. It feels like, scary to be walking through.
So I definitely noticed that, like, coming from heavily playing Tears and going into Diablo, like, the graphics of Diablo is very pretty. I'm playing on my high-end gaming PC as opposed to a Switch, right? Like, it looks good where they put the art in. Yes. But to your point, also, the open world, the in-between dungeon parts of Diablo that I've seen so far, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking with my Tears of the Kingdom brain, I'm like, ooh, I want to climb that tree. I want to chop that down. I want to do... And there's nothing. You can do very little to interact with the world in Diablo. And I can see that.
Find the little shiny rocks here and there. And
I do appreciate the shinies. Yeah. I always like to find shinies in game, except Pokemon. I've never found one.
Really? Have you never found a shiny?
Wait, I think, hold on. I think my first shiny was in Scarlet and Violet.
Okay. Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
What was it? Gen 4? With Hippowdon and its smaller version. Mm-hmm. The what is it? Gender dysmorphic changes that they have that they introduced in Pokemon, right? So I saw the female one, and I knew that Hippowdon was a brown Pokemon, and I was like, "It's a shiny! It's black! Oh, that's so cool!" And then I realized later, oh, it didn't sparkle. It's just female. So however old I was then, I was disappointed. I was like, that's it. Got it. And what's really funny is, so my wife doesn't play a whole lot of Pokemon. She got she got Violet and started playing it, and she's a gym in or two, and she found a shiny as Azurill like right away, and I was like,
amazing. It's a great shiny.
That's lucky. That's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. My first was a Noctowl, and my memory might be betraying me because I thought that I found one in the wild in silver version. Mm-hmm. That's what I remember. However, I also know that the first shiny in the anime was a shiny Noctowl. So I'm like, oh no, am I remembering watching the show, or am I remembering playing the game?
Am I Ash Ketchum?
I might be Ash Ketchum.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. If true, either way, if you did find a shiny Noctowl or you are Ash Ketchum, those are both two very cool stories.
I would love to be either of those things, correct or Ash Ketchum.
If you were Ash Ketchum, you are 3 times the age of Ash throughout his whole career of being a Pokemon master. What would that mean for the universe? If
it would mean that time does exist in the Pokemon universe, as when Ash was 10, I believe I was younger than 10, and now I am 3 times older than 10.
But did you take 20 years to be 10 is the question.
That's the thing. I took 20 years to get 20 years. So if I'm Ash Ketchum, then I actually lived a life, which cannot be said for Ash, even though he had he had all of these adventures. Can it be said that he lived a life if he just never grew? He is the same 10-year-old boy that he was when he started. All of those adventures happened in different universes over the span of a day. You think it was when he finished his adventure, he was still a 10-year-old. He just lived. We had just watched. We fortunately watched the timeline that Ash beat all of the things that he beat to become the champion in a day. He's the best Pokemon trainer in the universe.
That might be true because he is the champion.
Yeah.
And also, what was it? I have not watched a ton of the anime.
Okay.
Bits and pieces, and I've kind of seen more. I've watched actually a lot of the Sword and Shield. Yeah, Sword and Shield anime was on Netflix.
Was that Journeys?
Journeys, Master Journeys, Ultimate Journey, Ultimate Master Journey, Super Saiyan,
really like
Ultimate,
Journey.
Yeah, whatever, Blue God, Ultimate,
yeah, Super Saiyan, Ultimate Journey, Super Saiyan.
Yeah, whatever the subtitle, the adjective of Journey is.
Sure.
Yeah, I watched that. But in Journeys he references the past because he meets a lot of like his cohorts from the past animes, and like he went to Alola. And he was the Alola champion, and someone's like, "Oh, you're the Alola champion? That's weird." And it's like, "Yeah, I guess I did. What was the Alolan champion?" I don't know how time works in that universe. And whatever you just got through saying 5 minutes ago, that is scary.
Right. And that's just connecting the timelines. It's establishing a timeline here. When Ash is like, "Hey, this is my Dragonite and my Latias and my Lucario," that is now the timeline where Ash went to the Indigo League and the whatever league and the whatever league and ended up with those 3 Pokemon. Does he ever mention the Johto one in that sentence? No, he doesn't. And so he never went to Johto in this timeline. Did he ever go to Hoenn in this timeline? No.
That Mike,
prove me wrong.
This is your second time on this podcast.
This is my last time on this podcast. I'm trying to make it.
Oh man, 564 or whatever number you wanted to be here. Yeah, I was gonna say, that I can wait because you're gonna make my head hurt if this is what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna go through the whole lore of Digimon next time.
Oh, that's a whole. Okay, Digimon actually might be a more linear like timeline and easier to grasp lore than Ash's life.
Oh, sure.
Right? Because they actually age.
I can do it for you right now. Digimon Adventure 1, they go into the digital world. They're the Digidestined. Digimon Adventure 2, they're the next generation. They're the next kids. And they have like the older people to follow the footsteps of or whatever. Mm-hmm. In Digimon 3, the Tamers one.
Yep.
Tamers. Digimon Adventure 1 and 2, that was just a TV show. That didn't even happen. That didn't happen in that world.
Wait, is that really true?
That's really true.
Wait,
I'm going to blow your mind with this.
Oh,
this
not again.
It was a TV show. And Takado.
Wait, was Tamers the TV show or was 1 and 2
Adventure 1 and 2
was the TV show in the Tamers universe?
Yes. And Takado, the main character, drew a picture of Guilmon because he was just so obsessed with Digimon, he wanted to make his own. And then it became real. And then he went through this whole adventure with Guilmon.
Okay.
Tamers is also the most tragic story that I've ever seen in anime ever.
I remember liking Tamers.
It's beautiful.
Back when it was
so depressing.
I think if I were to go back as an adult and watch it, I'd probably understand that. But in blissful young Harrison ignorance, I missed it.
Yeah. What was her name? Jerry's her partner Digimon, Leomon. He got destroyed by that Impmon guy.
Well, and she went into deep
depression. And the D Reaper got into her because of that and took over her body and destroyed the digital world because she got depressed.
Depression is very strong.
Yes.
Talk to someone. What was 4? Was that Tracks?
I don't know. I stopped caring.
Oh, okay. You just stopped at 3.
That was the Spirit one, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the song was really cool, and I know that. But
the
story I've kind of fell off.
Someone covering the song is on my anime playlist on Spotify that
Oh, cool.
everyone has one, right?
Yeah.
So that's on mine somewhere. Okay. Oh man, my head hurts.
I went on a big Digimon tangent. I apologize.
No, this is great. Okay, I don't stream a whole lot.
Sure.
But you've been on my streams. You've seen, like, you've come into my Twitch streams.
Yes.
My icons, my like little year icons and whatnot for subs.
Yeah.
Those Digivices.
Yes,
Remember
yes,
that?
they are.
Yeah.
You had the little you had your little insignia inside the Digivice.
Yeah, it's so small you can't actually see
Tiny.
that. But I instead put a flame behind it to mimic that. And then I the 2 year, 3 year, 1 year, whichever one was the highest when I did it. That one is a Pokeball colored Adventure 1 Digivice because
sick.
that's so that's so good. No, I also really like Digimon. I grew up on the two monster anime of our time.
Yeah. Well, oh man.
Okay,
we
the
could get
two
into whole other
popular
monsters. Yeah.
Okay, that the like mid to late 90s to like early 2000s anime was all things that fight for you.
Correct.
You had Pokemon, Digimon, Metabots, fighting Foodons.
I was gonna say fighting Foodons. I'm so glad you did first.
I lost my train of thought.
Monster Rancher.
Monster Rancher. They had like Yu-Gi-Oh! Technically, you'd summon the monsters. They'd fight in some iteration.
The whole thing was called
it.
Dual Monsters.
Dual Monsters.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Pokemon.
Magic.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Pokemon without the catching. You just have the Pokemon.
You just have the monsters.
Yeah. Okay.
They even have
Beyblade.
items.
Beyblade.
The tops fight for you.
Yeah, monsters come out of that. Oh.
Yeah, see? Yep. That whole time of anime was main character, you're weak. Have a monster fight for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm happy that someone else, I don't think anyone remembers fighting Foodons.
Oh, absolutely.
Right,
absolutely. Kids WB was my jam.
Yes.
Dude. Yes. And you and I, we have a shared bond toward Mega Man Battle Network. And so obviously
Mega Man also.
Warrior,
yes.
But that was during the whole like time of great 4Kids entertainment of like Ultimate Muscle and Mucha Lucha. Yeah.
Oh.
That one's not even an anime. I
That's
put
not
that one
that's
as
a
an
cartoon,
anime.
but that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
Saturday morning cartoons, Toonami, Saturday night anime, whatever, all that. Now we just have Crunchyroll, which is also very good.
Which is fine, I guess. Are
But
you watching
you don't
anything on there right now?
You don't have the time, right?
No.
What am I watching? I'm watching.
The time. I stay up very late to make the time.
Sorry.
I refuse to let go of my childhood.
There's not a set like I must be in front of the TV at 8 a.m. or whatever time.
That's accurate.
That's what made it fun and special. Crunchyroll. What am I watching anime wise? I'm watching Ancient Mage's Bride.
Okay, never heard of that.
It's a very cute slice of life. Slice of life might be too. I can't think of the right word.
Is that too narrow?
Too narrow. Too narrow, too
broad. Okay.
One of those. Only one or the other.
Somewhere in between, maybe. Yeah, in a sliding scale.
It's very cute. It is.
Okay.
It is fun. I'm in between. I need to find more anime because
Sure.
My Hero recently-ish ended for this season.
Mm-hmm.
What else were we watching?
I can give you Dr. Stone.
Okay, I tried Dr. Stone, and I 15,000% could not get into it.
Fair
mainly
enough.
because of the over-exaggeration of 200%. This must be the correct thing. It was so bad in the beginning. It might get better. I don't know.
No, it doesn't get better. That doesn't get better. Everybody is extremely one note. It is a grand cast of one note characters.
Okay.
And just the way that they all kind of interact with each other. And that tickles my brain just right. But I do appreciate the people who are like, he's always saying that. Yeah, that's kind of annoying.
I am curious in the story. So I do want to watch it. But it's a hard thing for me to like sit down and be like, okay, Dr. Stone, let's go. Yeah.
I've recently started Dead Mount Death Play.
Have not heard of that.
Yeah. It's about 9 episodes out right now and just started this season. What else? Demon Slayer, of course.
Oh, Demon Slayer. Yeah, we just watched through that. I was like, what was the other fun anime we just finished? Demon Slayer season. We watched all through that.
What's a fun anime about about the kids with the swords all dying?
You are a subbed person.
I am.
Okay.
I am very much a subs person.
Okay.
But I do appreciate a really good dub.
I'm a dubs person.
Okay.
Because I like to multitask.
That, you know what? I at one point had to convince my partner to continue watching Attack on Titan with me by playing it in dubs, because she is one of those people who just like will always be on her phone or always be doing something else, and that's cool, but it's hard to do when you have to read the whole time. So I get you.
Me and Beck and I are the same way with that. Like, we like to
you look up when you
anime.
hear something cool.
Yeah. Or like I'll be on my Switch or scrolling on phone or, something along with anime. Now, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite. I am, let me see this. This is going to be my silly flex. Okay. I am 1,396 days on a 1,396 day streak on Duolingo for Japanese.
Very cool. And how's that working out for you?
I watch anime in dub.
Okay. I see. It's
good
very
for you
fun.
for
keeping the streak going, though. Oh my gosh.
It's very fun. It's just a silly habit now. And like, the thing is here's a fun example. On y'all's the Ruinous Pokemon shirts you guys recently put out.
Yeah.
Shout out to pokesports.org/merch. You or Kevin were wearing one at one of the events we've been to, and I was like, hey, I know that kanji. That means old. What do you know what this says? And it was the Chinese, because it's like you have the 3 different languages of it.
Yeah.
So Japanese kanji comes from Chinese kanji. So they have a lot of the same kanji, but pronounced differently, and for the most part mean the same thing or adjacent concepts. Japanese sucks. It's very hard to learn. There's like 3 different ways to write Japanese. Anyway, I was like, what does this mean? I think I was Kevin, and he was like, I don't know. I don't speak Chinese. And I was like, that's a fair point. But like, they all have old in them. So that's all I know. But I was like, hey, I recognize that word.
Interesting. That was actually a choice from the designer. I had originally asked the designer to go and make shirts that said, like, what was it? The Japanese kanji for just ruinous, or like of ruin. Okay. But he took it a step further and wrote, I don't actually remember what he wrote, but he did write like something in Chinese on it as well. Yeah.
Okay, wait, I have a Bulbapedia. Mm-hmm. Is that gonna have the names of all of them in all the languages, easy to find?
Probably.
Qian Pao. Jian. So that's the Japanese. Show me the Chinese. Okay. Yes. What does that mean?
What are you looking at?
I'm looking. So the Chinese. You know, I'm gonna make sure I'm not. Okay, hold on. I need to make sure that I know what I'm talking about before I get too excited about what I might or might not know. It does mean old. I was right. Okay, cool.
Oh, cool.
So they all have old something in their names. If you look at the Cantonese and Mandarin Chinese, that first symbol, it's like a box with like an X on top or elongated T on top, whatever. That first kanji means old, and it's in every one of their names, I think.
Oh.
So take that as you will. I know nothing else.
But that's cool, though. You can actually recognize something.
Yes, and I can read like some hiragana and some katakana.
Whoa.
Which is really not that helpful because I can like make sounds but not know what I'm saying for some of it. And that was of the 1,400 days I've been doing Duolingo. I promise you 1,000 of them was trying to learn the like to read the language, to read the actual symbols, and I'm still bad at it.
Do you think it's more beneficial to learn how to speak before you learn how to read? Just in general.
I would
Does
say
it flip
yes.
after you've learned a language?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I would probably say speaking is more useful. Just from like, think about it. Not even learning a language. Just what do you do more in your everyday life? You probably speak to people more, right? So
Probably. Yeah.
I would say speaking, because at the very least, if you do go to another country, if you go, do whatever, right? You're gonna go and you can speak to someone. Yeah, you can use your phone nowadays to do like Google Translate Live or whatever it is. But like you're gonna do a lot more talking and asking, and you can ask for directions. You can hopefully find someone nice and helpful before you have to sit there and be like, I must read every symbol on this train station so I know where to go.
That's fair.
Right.
That's fair. Yeah, I feel like for me anyway, I would probably be better off learning a language verbally first. I think. I don't. Yeah, I think. But that said, I haven't ever tried to learn a language.
I was gonna ask, have you done
I've not.
anything? Not even like
No,
high school?
every time I'm driving home from work, I'm always like, yeah, okay, today is the day I'm going to start Duolingo for Japanese. No, this has been like 3 years of me saying that. I think it's just a habit at this point for me to say it and not do it.
So you can switch that habit to doing Duolingo, and then you can be 900 days in.
I'm going to download it right now.
Do it. I want to add you as a friend on Duolingo.
Okay.
I'm going to keep you accountable.
Okay. Oh, this is great.
This is
perfect.
amazing.
Okay, this
Guess what my name is on
podcast
Duolingo?
needs to be brought to you by Duolingo is what I'm
Oh, it's actually I was going to say my name on Duolingo is Erickson. It is not. Actually, it's one of the few places that I don't have that as my name.
I have successfully installed Duolingo.
Fantastic.
And it's already asking me to update. So, thank you, Google Play.
How does that?
Don't know.
Whatever.
Don't know.
Don't question it. But yeah, no, I've always liked. I did 6 years of Spanish
Okay.
in middle and high school, and doing that, I liked the idea of learning languages.
Mm-hmm.
I clearly can pretend to learn a language really well by doing a bunch of Duolingo. I even have.
Uh-oh. I like how long your cable is for your headset.
It's like a 6 foot long cable.
Yeah, you can really get around with that.
It's like right here. Like it's not even. It's 6 foot long, and I'm using a foot of it.
Yeah, it's a very nice headset too.
This is it's Razer. It's a.
Is it really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's actually a wireless like 2.4 gigahertz whatever thing.
That you just plug in.
I plug in because even with the like really nice wireless system they have going on, if I monitor my voice, it is just off enough that it destroys my brain.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I even have a Japanese textbook.
Genki, you're doing well.
Yes.
That's what that means, right?
Yeah, Genki as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, you know something. You watch your anime sub.
I do. Like, so that's the thing. And you can probably sympathize with this because you took Spanish for 6 years. I took French because in Canada we have to.
That makes sense.
So all through elementary school and then a little bit into high school.
So you have done other languages.
Okay. I mean,
Sure.
I have learned a little bit. Do I know how to fully speak French? Absolutely not. But
I can't speak Spanish.
But it gives you a little bit of an appreciation of the language. It like you can kind of start to learn things by association. I think it's the same kind of thing as when you're like learning a new trade or learning something that you're going to work at in a career. Just kind of knowing that certain things are possible makes it possible. Like knowing that words can be translated makes it a little bit easier to translate things when you hear it.
Yes. Yeah. Sure. That makes sense.
So like Japanese sentence structure, because I listen to so much anime, and now it extends to outside of anime as well. Now I watch a lot of just Japanese programming. It went into like dramas, and it went into game shows, and it went into like actual just like documentary programming. Like I will watch that stuff.
I'm learning something about Mike I didn't know. This is very exciting.
Oh no, I'm very, very into the language.
Without being into the language.
Without being into the language, yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the fun things that Duolingo just did, which actually like put a massive speed bump into my doings on Duolingo, is they recently, for the second time this year, completely changed the course, Japanese.
Okay.
So like later, maybe it was late last year, they changed to have, they used to have like a branching sort of structure, and it was very light branching. It'd be like a track, and then you can have two different tracks, and then like you do all of those, and you can go back to a track. It was very strange. Cool. It was nice though, because it gave you variety, and you can choose like, I want to do this lesson today or this lesson today.
What are the different tracks like?
So it's like different
for you.
So it was not so much a difference of like different. It was just different concepts you can learn.
Oh, okay.
Like this one is numbers and this one is colors, right?
Gotcha.
But they'd both be, the second like tier on the first level of Japanese. So like they're kind of like equal difficulty, and you kind of like learn different things. So now it's all just one straight line. And a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of my friends who are also doing Duolingo for different languages didn't like that change. They did that across the board, right? Mm-hmm. So they changed every language to be like that. And then, like, middle of last month, 2-3 weeks ago, they changed Japanese, and they're like, hey, big announcement. Duolingo and Crunchyroll got together, and we changed the Japanese course. And I saw it on Duolingo first, and I was like, this kind of sucks. I don't like this. I don't like this change. Except that they're like, the course structure right now, you'll learn a lot of things that you might have seen in anime. It's like a lot of sayings and phrases. So like, they almost made it like Duolingo is the like anime weeb Japanese like companion app, which is great.
So. Yeah.
Except it just completely like borked up everything that like. When you get into this, I'll explain.
I like it. I like that, but at the same time, I don't. The whole thing about me and my appreciation for the Japanese culture is that I try not to be the de facto weeb.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Like
sure.
I don't like being put in that box. Right. I like to watch things, and I like to understand them and get into the story, rather than the fact that it is just Japanese.
Sure. And I yes, I
know
agree.
what I'm talking about. Yeah,
I do, because again, I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite again, because I've done 1,400 days of Japanese. I'm planning and going to Japan next year as a fun, one might say vacation, someone else might say Mecca. But no, I agree. Like I really like different cultures. Japan just happens to be my big focus for the last 4 years.
It is understandably, and I think people would agree with this. It is an easy through line from like American culture to Japanese culture. Going from like American culture to say German culture is a little bit more of a departure. Going from American culture to anywhere in say Africa, a lot of places in Europe, like it's different. It's a lot different versus Japanese,
really
which
cool
is
about
like
that?
kind of catered to the American audience.
Japanese,
for better or for worse.
The Japanese government, and I have no sources. I've read this.
Your dad works for the Japanese government.
My dad works for the Japan. I forget where I saw this, so maybe I'll look this up and then admit that I'm wrong later. But I remember reading somewhere or hearing somewhere or something somewhere that Japan purposefully, like, one of their biggest exports, quote unquote, is culture.
Sure.
They want to put out anime. They want to put out all these cool things like that. Hey, Japan's really cool. I got a cool culture. They do that so that they look better to the world.
They're doing
and
a
it
great
works.
job.
Yeah. It's like, that's really neat because now that brings in tourism too, right? Like that's part.
It's bringing in a lot of tourism.
It all feeds back into the monies, I guess. But
I like a very not insignificant amount of people I follow on Instagram have been or are going to Japan this year. And I believe that there's a ton of tourism by the fact that I'm seeing news articles left, right, and center of them being like, there are too many tourists in Japan. Whoa, cool it, guys.
Part of that is because they shut down so hard for COVID.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. They were completely like, no tourists, no foreigners can come into Japan for like 3 years.
Right.
And they just opened up.
Yeah. So people were like, well, now that they're open, got to go. Yeah.
Me.
Same here. Absolutely.
Well, so Becca and I, when we were getting married back in 2020, right before the pandemic, we're like, hey, for a honeymoon, let's go to Japan. And then we said, hey, that's a terrible idea because we are planning a wedding. We don't want to plan a 2-week vacation to Japan as well.
Sure.
So this is a honeymoon, just 4 years late. It'll be very fun. And that's
technically I'm going for my honeymoon as well. It's less than a year, probably, hopefully.
Wait, so is that are you going to Japan next year?
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, wait, I haven't heard this. This is exciting.
Yeah,
we talked about this. Never mind.
You gave me Ryokan Rex.
Yes, never mind. I remember this now. I have the attention span of a goldfish.
That's all good. It was just the one thing. Yeah, and like we haven't really put too much thought into it.
Because you asked me to send you my itinerary and I never did.
Oh, that's okay. There's plenty of time to. And I thought that you were still developing it.
No,
you're locked in, eh?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I'm going to screenshot this to you right now. And then at some point here soon, maybe end the podcast. I forgot we're in the middle of a podcast. Where's Japan trip? Oh no. Was it shared with me? Is it mine or is it Becca's?
I believe in you.
You
can do this.
We're getting places. Hold on. Recent. And trip with friends. Japan. There we go. Haha.
Mm-hmm.
Found it. All right. Screenshots. This is more or less. I'll send this to you on Discord.
Yeah.
This is more or less the itinerary. We have a couple of different documents that have more details, but like for a 2-week trip, doing the like tourist track from Tokyo to Kyoto to Osaka back to Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
This is a pretty good. This is it. This is the itinerary.
And then what's the Melbourne at the end?
Oh,
that's your flight. You're flying out of Australia?
No, Melbourne, Florida.
There's a Melbourne, Florida?
There is, yes.
Oh, wow.
Crikey, there's a Melbourne, Florida, mate.
Except instead of kangaroos, they got gators.
They got gators. That was London.
I guess, yeah.
Oh, I felt bad coming out. Okay. Because I was aiming for something else. Nothing against all my fun European follower.
Backpedal. Yeah. Keep going.
That's it.
Okay.
Dig.
There you go. Yeah.
Anyway.
You love them, and yeah, good.
I love all of you.
Of course. As do I, now that I'm here. Hi.
Yeah, you're part of the Game Corner, Mike.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. And if you want to copy that, you can.
I almost certainly will. I'm going to Google most of the hotels, most of the what you want if it opens. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, the hardest thing to get on this list, by which I mean the only thing we have so far, is Hakone Ginyu.
Okay.
Which is the 3 stay in the middle.
3 open. Yeah.
Because they sell out the day that they're available and they open up a year before.
Right.
So have fun with that.
Right.
That's what I was telling you about.
Yes, you were. And I told myself, I was like, okay, I need to, once I know that I'm going to Japan, I need to make sure that I know exactly a year before, and then I just book it. Yes. How does that work with multiple day bookings?
So the way we did it, and by we, I mean Becca, she did all of this because she's my travel agent.
Fair enough.
She's very good at it. So for this one specifically, for Hakone Ginyu, and I think this is a pretty normal service that's offered in places, is you basically email a third party who will translate what you want to do and then work with the hotels or the ryokan or, wherever you're trying to book, will work for you there, book the thing, and then give you the results.
Okay.
Right? So, like, we specifically wanted 3 nights in, for this one, it was, like, in a specific room they have. They have, like, 11 or 12 rooms total in this one, and they're all different, like, styles. Or it was, like, 6 different styles, whatever, like, a couple of each one. And we wanted something specific, and they're like, hey, we got you this because everything else is booked. And we're like, okay, that works. So, like, they get as close as they can, right, with what's available or whatever, and if there's any back and forth, I'm sure it's fine. It did take them a month to get back to us, which was kind of almost concerning, but we still got it, so...
You're all confirmed and there's no problems now.
Yeah. Yes, that's the happy part.
Good. I'm seeing pictures of it up on, like, this massive hill.
Mm-hmm. It's
on
like
the side of a mountain.
It's like, it faces Fuji.
You're kidding. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. I need to go there. I don't care how long I need to wait. Yeah, this one specifically is like the traditional izakaya. So they like give you the several course meal for breakfast and dinner. I think they supply that. So, and it's like they have an American and a Japanese version. So like you can try their take on American food and you can try very traditional Japanese food. It's super cool. I will be gushing about it for many, many days when we get back. And I wouldn't blame you.
I will send you pictures of
good.
What we do over there.
I'll ask you when you're going outside of the podcast.
Well, Sakura season, actually. We specifically have it for that time. Wait. Cool. You literally have the dates.
Oh, I literally have the dates. Yeah, you know what? When you said wait, I was like, oh, hold on.
It's right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that.
That's amazing. Cool. Well, I'm really happy for you, and I can't wait to hear all about that.
Yeah, and then good luck to booking your stuff.
Yeah.
Whenever I get around to that.
Yeah.
I think this is no. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna copy Kevin because I listened to y'all's episode.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin and Bruno will probably hate me if I don't tell my side of this story.
Okay, I think I know where this is going. All right.
Okay. So, I don't have fun battle stuff like Kevin did and with the double fissures and all that fun stuff. I just had a really terrible time. But outside of Pokemon this weekend, Ubers are fun. And actually, Kevin and Bruno would be remiss for me to not mention that I booked this one and it was a Lyft. It was not an Uber if you have any prejudice in services.
Okay.
So there was this guy who picked us up. I was like, we got the 3 of us. It's like only a couple bucks extra. I'll get the XL. It'll be nice. It'll be fun. We're going down to a Korean restaurant because the meme that I think Judy shared on, or Judy shared on Twitter about every VGC group goes out to Korean barbecue. We've tried apparently in our group to make that a tradition. So far, it's been okay. So we find this Korean restaurant downtown. It's like a 10-15 minute drive to go like 2 miles downtown. Like, not very far, but downtown traffic, city walk, whatever, all that fun stuff. We get picked up by this guy in a large black GMC SUV. This guy has like slicked back black hair. He is in a 3-piece suit or something adjacent to it. Kevin did not mention that he did not use a phone for Lyft and Uber. He used a whole iPad.
Oh.
He just had an iPad sitting in the like center console. Okay. So that was my first indication, on top of slick back hair and 3-piece suit. Like, that's kind of weird. And I'm sitting like adjacent, like right behind the passenger seat. Bruno's right behind the driver, and Kevin's in the back.
Okay.
And the guy we start going off, and he starts talking, and it's kind of normal conversation you get from a driver in one of these rideshare services. How you doing? What do you like? What are you in? Are you in local? Are you visiting? You know, kind of like normal stuff that happens. And I don't know if I'm just the outgoing extrovert of the three of us, but I'm taking the brunt of the conversation, and
Sure.
I'm okay with that. Just letting it wash over and kind of giving, half-baked responses back, just to kind of playstate this guy, because he could be a murderer. Who knows?
You don't want to make the guy who has all of your lives in his hands angry.
Yeah, correct. So just having fun with it. And he starts talking about, you know what? Hold on. I want to pull up Bruno's live tweeting, because I have to be honest. Bruno live tweeted this, but only gave half the story at best. And because he started only halfway in, because that's when it got extra weird. So this guy's talking like, hey, what are y'all doing downtown? And going to, oh, Chard, yeah, I've been there. It's a cool restaurant. I take people there all the time. I had like 5 people last week want to go there. Cool. So we're like, great. It's a fun place. Fantastic. And then he starts going off, well, what are you doing after that? My buddy owns this place called Shakers. And we're sitting here like, is this a strip club or something? Whatever. Cigar lounge. Okay, cool. Like, yeah, I like to smoke these big cigars. I have this. And he pulls out a lightsaber handle. And he's like, you know what this is? And we're like, a lightsaber? And he's like, yeah, click. It's a little butane torch. So there's a little blue flame in an enclosed vehicle. Gets set off, right? And he's like, yeah, it's cool. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Make the flame stop.
Love that.
So he puts it down or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's really cool. I also have this. And he pulls out this pistol. And we're like, what? And then he's like, and then he fires the pistol, and it's literally another lighter. But it's so mal-calibrated. It's just wrong. Like, I don't know what this is. It's another butane torch. But while the flame should have been an inch and a half, 18 inches of fire comes out of this thing. Maybe a foot. But it is like a large flame. And it smells like burnt and
like someone
burnt,
has a foot long of butane. Yeah. Sure.
And we're like, holy crap. And that's when, of course, when Bruno has to start live tweeting this, because this is insane. So then he starts going off, and it's Pride Month, and yep. I think that's great. Harrison thinks that's great. This guy is making I don't know where he stood in his views on anything, because he was just maybe just making jokes, maybe trying to get a feel for maybe the three of us are some sort of throuple. I don't know. But he's like, there are gay bars, and making these, I don't know if they're derogatory jokes, but I was mildly uncomfortable with some of the things. I'm not going to say them on this platform, but it was strange. And then, of course, we dip our toes into politics, because that has to be a thing. And it's like, my goodness. And then it quickly is like, there's a pickleball court. And at this point, I'm just like, can we please get to our destination?
You've talked about everything in that vehicle. You talked.
We didn't hit on
politics.
religion.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah,
you talked about politics. You talked about fire. You talked about pride. You talked about pickleball. Pride, pickleball, and what was the first one? Oh no,
butane.
Butane. Sure.
It's almost alliteration.
Yeah, there was a P. There was a third P. Oh dang it. I just said it. My brain, it just dropped.
Pride, pickleball, and politics.
Pride, pickleball, and politics. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. We got there. Thank you.
And then, of course, we ended the whole ride with, he handed me, because I I threw myself on that grenade for Bruno and Kevin with talking to this guy, and the prize I got was a small matchbook. He gave me a little matchbook, whatever it is.
He gave you favors
for shakers.
Wow.
So that picture that I put in the Milwaukee Hangout of our Discord that we have with our little group, that's what that is. That's what we got from that guy.
Gotta say, though, I looked up Shaker's Cigar Bar.
It's haunted.
1,118 Google reviews. This thing's got 4.6 stars. Like,
pretty good.
Not gonna lie, this thing doesn't look too bad.
This guy was also like, Shaker's is the most haunted bar, or one of the top 5 most haunted bars in America or something. And it's like, I was on the Netflix show Dark Tourists about haunted places in America, smoking a cigar and Shaker's. That was my 8 seconds of fame. And I'm like, dude, that's kind of cool, but still.
How many times has he told that story, I wonder?
Every time that someone goes downtown and looks like they might like cigars. That's it.
Okay.
I have to imagine.
Yeah.
And he owns a limo service, apparently, which I think kind of lends itself to the suit and like slicked back hair and big GMC, and also running Lyft.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that...
I don't know. If I owned a limo company, I would probably be running Lyft or Uber, like luxury or Lux Black, whatever that like tier of those services
You did get an XL, right?
So. It was XL, but it wasn't like... I mean, I don't know. They added so many different tiers to that, to the service, whatever. It was a time, and it was. Kevin did not tell every bit of that story, and it had to go out there somewhere.
Well, I'm glad that I got to hear it from your perspective, because you were the one who actually, as you say, fell on that grenade of conversation there.
We do need to get Bruno's side of it.
I really want to hear Bruno's side of it. Yeah.
Because again, his live tweeting only covered the smallest bit.
Yeah. Because he was a fly on the wall. So he got all of it.
But it was good Korean food, so it was kind of worth it in the end.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good. I'm glad.
Well, this might actually be our longest episode.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Sweet.
Which is exciting. So, Mike, thank you. Listeners, I'm sorry. Whatever the appropriate response is.
You decide.
If you made it this far, and if you made it this far, your reward was that story.
Yes. Definitely was that story. Worth every moment.
Oh, man.
But no, thank you for having me. That's great.
Absolutely. This is going to be a little redundant, but Mike, where can people find you?
People can find me anywhere that they find Pokesports. Pokesports either on YouTube, Pokesports on Spotify, Pokesports in the cloud. See if you can find us there.
Look up in the sky and see Pokesports in the cloud writing.
Yeah.
The smoke signals.
And then reach out to us on Twitter and tell us, wow, we saw you in the clouds.
I was so tempted when I saw Kevin to be like, how many hats do you have? And then I
was telling him, and I'll tell you and your peeps that I want to do that for Ohio. I want to have the both of us, like one at a time, take our headphones off, say one thing that someone should say to us, and then we switch.
Did Kevin y'all didn't talk about that on this episode, did you?
No, we didn't. We totally missed it.
Okay. I'll let Kevin tell his story. It's not as exciting as that Uber, but I'll let him talk to you about how he figured that out.
Oh, and I know how he figured it out. Yeah, he told me about it. Yeah,
that someone just straight up told him.
Yeah, so
okay,
the first
never mind.
person straight up told him.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I want to do it so bad until Mike was like, make it a game, right? And I was like, oh. And then Kevin was like, you should have just come into my room in the Airbnb, seen my hats, and then be like, oh, hey, Kevin, how many hats do you have? And I'm like, I wish I was that smooth. And speaking of me being smooth, that's my segue. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at row_xn. And together, for the first time by himself and not necessarily under the Pokesports name.
We same have thing with you guys. It's you by yourself and me by myself.
You're right. Yeah. Oh no. Oh wait, this also goes back to Kevin didn't cheat on you with me because we didn't make an episode in Milwaukee. But now, look at how the turntables have turned.
That also might happen later. So.
Oh yeah. Secrets. We've been the Game Corner. You can find us on Twitter at Game Corner VGC. You can find all of our links down below in the Discord. Not Discord. Oh my gosh, in the link tree down below, which includes our Discord.
It's a part of it.
Yeah,
it's an important part of it.
It is. The Discord is actually most of what I care about. And then also like other things like patrons there too, I suppose, and views and subscribe on YouTube and comment down below how many hats you think Kevin has. Until next time, press start and game on. Oh, RobKTA and Game Chops for the use of our theme song, Goldenrod Game Corner off the Ultraball album. There it is. Now press start and game on. Goodbye.